Hello children, this is Mr. Toran Sahu. Welcome you all again in the online teaching session of Academic World School Bemetara. Children, here again I am with my another lecture from grade 12th biology. Children, in my previous lectures I have dealt about the pre-fertilization events and the process of fertilization and double fertilization. Now, in today's lecture, I'll be dealing with some more important topics which are important in terms of your board examination. So, the topic what we have chosen, that is the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Today I am going to cover the subtopics, and these are the post-fertilization event. As I told, we have discussed two events. Then under these there are again subtopics which we call the formation of endosperm. This is the first step after the process of fertilization. Then we'll talk about the formation of embryo or the development of embryo, or we can say the different stages that we see how the embryo develops, and under which we will discuss about the different stages of the embryo. So these are the pro-embryo, then globular embryo, heart-shaped embryo, and finally the mature embryo. So before I begin with, I would like you to open your note and a pen so that you could note down whatever are important to you in terms of your examination. So children, the topic what I have taken today is highly important in terms of your board examination as well as for your other competitive examination. Mostly I would be covering all the entire NCERT contents, but in this there would be some more beyond the NCERT also which are equally important and are asked, maybe which are not given in the NCERT. So let us begin with. Children, in my previous lecture, if you recall, I told you the process of fertilization and double fertilization. Means this diagram, it depicts the structure of the embryo sac after the process of fertilization. So just let's go with this diagram so that I could relate this, I could take this to the topics for today. So you can see here, this is the structure of the embryo sac. What is embryo sac? It is the female gametophyte where the process of fusion occurs. So after the entry of two male nuclei, so these two male nuclei, it fuses with two different cells inside the embryo sac. So this process we call double fertilization. So you can see here how this, let me make it very clear. This is the micropylar end. So this end is what? The micropylar end. And this is the chalazal end. Yes? So towards the micropyle, there is an egg apparatus. So in the egg apparatus, there are two synergid cells you can see here. Why did I make like that? Because this is a structure which depicts the structure after the fertilization. When I say after the fertilization, there are few structures within the embryo sac and the female gametophyte. These structures, they keep on degenerating because their function is now over. So they won't be performing any other further function. So that's why these synergid cells, once their function is over. What is the function again? These synergid cells, it guides the pollen tube to enter. Now this is what the egg cell. You can see here I have written here the fertilized egg. So here is the process of syngamy take place. ये already I have discussed. So this is syngamy. So syngamy is the result or is the process, not the result, the process of fusion of first male gamete with an egg cell. As a result, it forms the 2N structure. So this is what? 2N structure or the diploid structure. So this structure we call zygote. Got that? Now the another male nuclei or male gamete, it gets fused with the centrally placed polar nuclei. What is polar nuclei? So this polar nuclei, when it gets fused with the second male gamete, it forms the structure that we call PEN, or it is primary endosperm nucleus, and the cell is called as the PEC, primary endosperm cell, and the process we call it triple fusion. So triple fusion results the formation of PEN. You might be thinking, why am I repeating again? Because my topic is based upon these only. Unless and until I connect these with, I cannot proceed with the today's topic. So see this PEN or primary endosperm nucleus. So see here, 2 times the process of fertilization is being taken place. So this phenomena is called as what? The double fertilization. So here what happens? There are few things that take place. The fertilized egg, that is the now called as zygote. So the first thing that takes place is the formation of zygote, and this zygote ultimately changes into an embryo, or this zygote it develops into an embryo. This is the first event which takes place. Yes? Then as soon as this happens, immediately what happens? The another event which occurs inside is this PEN or primary endosperm nucleus. It converts into the nutritive tissue. That tissue is called as the endosperm. So this is the second event which takes place within the embryo cell as soon as the process completes. So these endosperm it forms. Then after this, so this we can see it is the second one. Then the third process. The third process is the formation of seed. And the last one is formation of fruit. So these are the 4 events. Formation of embryo from the zygote, formation of endosperm from the PEN, then formation of seed, then followed by formation of fruit. These are the all post-fertilization events that we'll be dealing with today. Now, let me tell you, as I told you, hope you have noted down all this. I am erasing few of the things here so that it will not be getting confused. So see here. This is the fertilized egg or zygote. This zygote, as I told, it is the diploid structure. Now this PEN or the primary endosperm nucleus, this is what? The 3N, or it is called as the triploid. Why triploid? Because there are 3 nuclei which get fused with each other at the time of triple fusion. So 3 nuclei are involved, that's why we call it triple fusion, and the ploidy of this cell, it remains triploid. Triploid means 3 chromosomes. In case of zygote, it is diploid. That's why we write here 2N. Yes? Now the question is, always, as I told you, we will go by this, the process of development of embryo from the zygote, then the development of endosperm or the nutritive tissue. But children, we will deal first with the process of development of embryo from the PEN. There is a reason behind. Why? These endosperm, as I told, it is the nutritive structure. So, unless and until, listen carefully, unless and until some amount of endosperm is formed within these embryo sac, the zygote doesn't start developing or dividing. There is a reason. Why? Because these endosperm, it is a kind of reserve food, and this food is supplied to the zygote so that the zygote gets nourished and it can divide and ultimately form the embryo. So here we will first discuss about the formation of endosperm. So all these are clear, I think. Now let us deal about the development of the embryo. So the first subtopic that we deal before we go to study about the development of embryo is what? The formation of endosperm. So this formation of endosperm, it is the result of triple fusion. So triple fusion results the formation of endosperm. As a result, the ploidy of endosperm is 3N or triploid. Got it? Now, these endosperms, they are formed in order to provide nutrition. In order to provide nutrition to the developing embryo. Got that? Now, when we talk about these endosperms, so these endosperm, they are of different types. These endosperms are actually, as I told, the nutritive tissue. So this is to be consumed by the other cells. Other cells means the embryo, which is now going to be developed. So these are, the endosperms are of different types. Varieties of endosperm that will be seen, or we can see the nature of endosperm. So if I tell you these, the nature of endosperm, so it may be starchy, it may be proteinaceous, it may be oily, it may be stony. Now see, when I say starchy means it all depends upon the variety or the species of the plants to which these processes take place. So starchy, you can see in case of wheat and other cereals. Yes. Then proteinaceous, you can see in case of maize. Oily in case of coconut or castor. Then stony in case of date palm. So all these are the different varieties of plants you can see here, which have the different types of the endosperm. Yes, so it is depending upon the type of the cells which are present within these, the components, or we can say the composition of the endosperm. So overall, depending upon the type of a species, these endosperms, they are of three major types. So if you see these, so endosperms, these are of three types. The first one, it is the nuclear endosperm. Second one is the cellular endosperm. And the third one, it is the halobial. So, nuclear, cellular and halobial. Let us see with the help of diagram to make these different types of endosperm very clear. You can see here from the word itself, in the first type of endosperm, the nuclear, it is also called as free nuclear type endosperm. What exactly happens? Once the PEN divides. So, for example, this is the central cell. Yes, central cell, it has the nucleus that we call PEN. So, this is what? The PEN. Now, this PEN, what is the ploidy of this PEN? It is triploid. Now, this PEN, it undergoes repeated free nuclear division by the process of mitosis. As a result, there are number of free nuclei which are formed, and it covers the entire structure. Yes, it means that the process of karyokinesis only begins. It is not followed by the cytokinesis. Yes, later on what happens? In this case, the large vacuole at the center, it keeps on forming. As a result, these free nuclei, they keep on moving towards the periphery, and the peripheral cells, you can see here, these all are the peripheral cells or the nucleus. So why am I saying this cell? Because these peripheral nuclei, they are now changed into the cells. So initially the nucleus divides repeatedly and forms the group of nuclei. That's why this is called as the free nuclear type endosperm. And later stage, you can see here, it is the large vacuole which is formed that pushes the nuclei towards the periphery. In this case, the formation of cell wall begins from the periphery. It does not start immediately after the karyokinesis. It begins from the peripheral cells. Yes, the best example of these nuclear endosperm, it is the cotton coconut. You have seen that. In case of coconut, if you see that it has the milky, watery or milky liquid at the center, the coconut. So this milk or the liquid is nothing but it is the free nuclear endosperm. Yes. Now the second one, that is cellular. Now as of the free nuclear division starts, so in some cases, for example, in case of, if you see here, Petunia datura, these are the different species of the plant. So where we see these cellular endosperm. So here what is happening, all these, as soon as the cell division starts, so immediately from the first cell itself, when the nucleus divides, immediately it is followed by the formation of cell wall. So as a result, each and every division completes and they form the number of cells which are packed within the cell. So this type of structure is called as the cellular endosperm. Now the last one is halobial. In case of halobial, this structure is mostly seen in the monocots. Where? In the monocot. So in this type of endosperm, what exactly the diagram is. Here you can see here, this is actually the intermediate stage of these two. It means there are certain plants of monocots which bears both the types of endosperms. It has the free nuclear type as well as the cellular type. So towards the bottom side in this diagram, you can see here I am making the cells. This is the central cell. Now, and on the upper side, you can see here I have only made this dotted structure. So these are representing the free nuclei and these are representing the cells. So you can see here this type of structure where the nuclear endosperm as well as the cellular endosperm both are present together. Such type of endosperm we call halobial endosperm. One thing I have to make it very clear, these all types of endosperm, their major function is to provide nutrition to the developing embryo. So this is the important question which is asked in the board examination, that why zygote remains dormant for some time inside the ovule or the embryo sac. Yes? So the reason is unless and until certain amount of endosperm is formed, because ultimately the embryo needs something. Okay? So to need these food, there is the need of some structure that could provide it. So that structure is what? The endosperm. So as soon as the endosperm is formed, then immediately the zygote starts dividing. Yes? So now here we will talk about the embryogeny. So this embryogeny is what? It is the process of formation of embryo from the zygote. So zygote changes into an mature embryo. So this event, yes, this process is called as embryogeny. We also call it embryogenesis. Understand? So it is the development of fertilized egg or zygote into the mature embryo. So before I begin with the process, let me tell you the different stages of development of these embryo from the zygote. So the initial stage is called as pro-embryo. The next stage is called as the globular embryo, and then that we call is the heart-shaped embryo, and finally we will have the mature embryo. Yes, now I will be dealing all these through the diagram so that it could be easy for you. Yeah, so just I am erasing this. So let's begin with the process of embryogenesis. Now this is the zygote. What? Zygote. Zygote is diploid. Diploid means it has the two or set of chromosome, but it is the single cell. So zygote is diploid, but it's a single cell. Got it? Now what happens once it starts receiving certain amount of food or nutrition from the endosperm, this zygote, it starts dividing. So the first division which occur is the transverse division. So as a result of these transverse division, it is actually the unequal division. We also call it unequal division. The reason, because as a result of these transverse division, there are the formation of unequal sized cells. So as a result, these division forms the two unequal sized cells, and these cells, they are, you can see here, one is the large sized cell and other one is the smaller sized cell. So this large sized cells, it is actually the large basal cell. What is large basal cell? And the smaller one is called as the small embryo cell. Yes. So transverse division, and then as a result it forms the two unequal size cell, the large basal cell. These large basal cell, it lies towards the micropyle, and these small embryo cell, it lies towards the chalaza end. You have to remember the structure of the ovule. So micropyle, it is the anterior part, and the chalazal part, it is the basal portion. Yeah. So now the division take place simultaneously in these two. But here I will let you know one by one so that it could be easy for you to understand. Now this large basal cell, it is also called as the suspensor cell. What is suspensor cell? Now these suspensor cell, it undergoes successive transverse division. Yes, it undergoes successive transverse division. As a result, what happens? These suspensor cell, it forms the chain of 6 to 10 cells. So here is the structure, it looks like this. So this is the first cell, then below these it has the smaller cell. So you can see here, these suspensor cell, it divides and it forms the chain of 6 to 10 cells. And this complete structure we call suspensor. Yes? And this suspensor, it has the first cell and the last cell. The first cell that lies towards the micropyle, this is called as the vesicle. What is vesicle? This is also called as the haustorium. What is haustorium? Because these actually helps in sucking, the nutrition, or it helps in pushing the embryo so that the embryo could get embedded into the endosperm, so to receive the nutrition. Now this complete structure, it has the one first large cell that we call vesicle, and it has the cell which is the last cell. So this last cell, this is called as the hypophysis. Now this hypophysis, it results the formation of radicle. So this is associated with the formation of radicle. Radicle is the future root. Yes, which is a part of the mature embryo. So this, what happens to the suspensor cell or the large basal cell? So to which side of these embryo side it is happening? Towards the micropyle. Now simultaneously, this small embryo cell, it also divides. Now here the division the division, it occurs differently. Got that? Now let me tell you how it happens. So this small cell, it undergoes two division. It undergoes two division. As a result, it forms, okay, it forms two tier of 8 cells. So it undergoes two, okay, division. The transverse division and the vertical division. So these transverse and the vertical division. So there is one transverse division and two vertical division. Yes. So because of that, this single cell embryo cell, it forms the two-tiered and 8-celled structure. Yes. So this I am going to make here so that you could understand. Now you can see here, this is the two-tiered 8-celled structure. How two-tiered? You can see here, these are the 4 cells and these are again 4 cells. So let me tell you how these, two transverse division and two vertical division and one transverse division. How does it happen? You can see here, this is the cell. So firstly it divides, it forms 2 cells. First, okay, the vertical division or longitudinal division, then these two again divide. So as a result it forms 4. Now there is one transverse division. So these transverse division, it results the formation of 8 cells. That's why it forms the two-tier and 8-cell structure that you have seen here. So this is actually called as the globular embryo because it looks like the globule. Yes, so this is the suspensor cell and the last cell is the hypophysis, which is basically the precursor of the radicle. Then it has these globular embryo. Now these globular embryo again it divides and it forms the other structure, and that we call the heart-shaped embryo. So as a result, what happens? These globular embryo, there is again, the periclinal division which occur within these cells of the globular embryo. As a result, they form the structure that we call the heart-shaped embryo. Now let me tell you dear, the outer structure, it means outer layer, 2 tiers are there. So the outer tier which is near to the hypophysis, they are associated with the formation of root cap as well as the dermatogen, outer layer. And the inner one, okay, inner tier, they are responsible for the formation of ground tissue and the procambium. Yes, so let's make this diagram. This is the suspensor cell. Yes, and then it has these heart-shaped embryo. Now these heart-shaped embryo, you can see here, these are the outer layer, the first tier, and then it has the procambium structure, and these are the ground tissue or the meristematic tissue. So this is what? Suspensor. So this is the cell which actually forms the radicle, and this is the dermatogen, then this is the procambium, and these are the ground meristem. Ground meristem means they form the ground tissue, because this basically forms the cotyledon. Which one? The embryo. Yes. Now see what is happening here. These heart-shaped embryo. So first, this is the pro-embryo. Then the heart-shaped or globular embryo. Then the heart-shaped embryo. In the heart-shaped, you can see that the globular cells, they keep on growing. As a result, there are the periclinal division. Because of these periclinal division, the two-tiered cells, as I told, they divide periclinally and forms different layers. These layers, they form the outer dermatogen, middle ground tissue, and the procambium. All these are the cells which are formed inside. Now when we see the mature embryo, so what do we find? These mature embryo, if you see the structure, you can see here. These mature embryo, this is the structure of the mature embryo, where you can see the suspensor cell and the cotyledon. So this is the suspensor cell. Okay, this suspensor cell, as I told, it lies towards the micropyle, and this is what the mature embryo, or complete we can say the cotyledon. Here is what? The radicle. Now the question is, the entire process is same in case of dicot as well as the monocot. That is to be taken, okay, seriously. These structure, as I told, till the formation of the embryo, the all stages are same. Only the structures vary in dicot and monocot. Here what I have made is the dicot. So I have taken this dicot into consideration to explain the process of embryogen. Yes. In next video, I will be letting you know the structure of dicot and monocot embryo separately. Yes. So this is the structure. Now I am making this inside the ovule. How does it look? So this is the structure. So what is happening here? This is the micropylar end. What is micropylar end? This micropylar end, you can see this is funicle and these are the integuments. Yes. So you can see here, this is the entire ovule. Inside this ovule there is an embryo sac. This embryo sac, it ultimately converts into the cotyledon. So this is the structure of the cotyledon or the mature embryo. Yes. So this structure, it lies, okay, so the suspensor cell, it lies towards the micropyle and this is towards the chalaza. So this cotyledon, the embryo, it lies towards the chalaza. Now it gets nutrition from the nucellar cells also. Nucellar cells are the major, okay, cells which makes the body of the female gametophyte. Yes. So this is the entire process of the development of embryo from the fertilized egg. Hope you have understood and noted down each and every stage. Children, these are important in terms of your examination. So this is all about today. Children, the assignment regarding this will be uploaded along with these video in your ERP. Do download, solve it and send the assignment through the ERP. Thank you.